Okay, I meant to do this for quite some time. In any case, it's the 21st of December of 2023 at approximately 8:59 p.m. California, United States time. This comes from sharedhope.org. sharedhope.org / the problem / what is sex trafficking / Sex trafficking occurs when someone uses force, fraud, or coercion to cause a commercial sex act with an adult, or causes a minor to commit a commercial sex act. A commercial sex act includes prostitution, pornography, and sexual performance done in exchange for any item of value such as money, drugs, shelter, food, or clothes. So, what I think needs to be added in here is that sex trafficking can happen to adults as well as kids. It's not just limited to kids. Many other sites acknowledge that fact. By what it says here, a commercial sex act includes prostitution, pornography, and sexual performance done in exchange for any item of value such as money, drugs, shelter, food, or clothes. That definitely applied to me as a minor. In respect to sex trafficker, solicitor of sex trafficking, perjurer, suborner, perjury, solicitor of perjury, assaulter, solicitor of assaulting, RAPIST, solicitor of RAPE, etc., etc. Richard Lyon Herbert, Los Altos, 94022, Gilroy, Seaside, Monterey, and Pennsylvania. At the time that I met Richard Lyon Herbert, Lyon Herbert, not only was I a minor, he was an adult. But I was just so confused about life, like any typical child or teenage child, was having issues with my mother. Nothing major. And he was well aware of that. He exploited what was going on at the time, like a typical sex trafficker. And I think in his mind, he was very aware that what he was doing amounted to sex trafficking. I mean, with everything that was going on at the time and with how confused I was and stuff, I ended up pretty much, if you will, living with the sex trafficking Herbert family, mob Herbert family. Just was so confused. They played on that confusion. They attempted to make what was going on with my mother at the time into something that was a lot worse than it actually was. Like I said before, I never consented to having sex with Richard Lyon Herbert. I told him I wanted to wait for marriage. I said that out in front of the house in Los Altos on Waverly Lane. In the little mustard yellow VW car of sex, trafficker, perjurer, suborner, perjury, solicitor, perjury, etc., Richard Lyon Herbert. And I do believe you only have to tell somebody once that you want to wait until marriage, or you only have to tell somebody once that you do not want to have sex with them at that moment in time or in the future. I think you only need to tell them once. So anyway, Richard probably was very aware that him rapinge me and me living with the sex trafficking mob, etc., Herbert family, as they exploited that situation that was going on with my mom and made it a lot worse than it actually was. He knew, and they knew, that amounted to sex trafficking. Sexual performance done in exchange for any item of value, such as money, drugs, shelter, food, or clothes. That was definitely the situation with the sex trafficking, etc., mob Herbert family on Waverly Lane in Los Altos. That also definitely applied to sex trafficker, solicitor of sex trafficking, rapist, solicitor of rape, perjurers, suborner, perjury, solicitor, perjury, etc., Maxim Integrated Products / Analog Devices, Mike Hess. And again, all the guys that I was trafficked by knew one another and know one another, and they did not try to hide that fact. And I'm going to go back to the definition. A commercial sex act includes prostitution, pornography, and sexual performance done in exchange for any item of value such as money, drugs, shelter, food, or clothes. So although, at times I had been renting rooms and houses in San Jose, and technically had a place to go back to, there were times when, I had to rely on sex trafficker, etc., Maxim Integrated Products / Analog Devices, Mike Hess. And I was too drunk to consent at the time. So yeah, sex if you will, but not really willingly, in exchange for a place to live and food, definitely applied to maximum integrated products / analog devices, Mike Hess. Did I want to have sex with him? No. Did he make me feel like there was something wrong with me? Yes. And it's so complicated, but yeah, this definitely applies to him. And there's no doubt in my mind that all the clothing that has come my way here at 283 Concord Lane, Santa Clara, California 95051, by way of sex traffickers, solicitors of sex trafficking, perjurers, suborners of perjury, solicitors of perjury, witness intimidators, solicitors of witness intimidation, all that, like Greg and Glen Chapel, current mafia members, all that clothing that they have heaped on me, that they have given me, which I never asked for. I'm sure in their mind that was we'll give her clothing after we RAPED her without her knowledge or consent, after putting benzodiazepines like Rohypnol in her water or milk. That then becomes a commercial sex act, even though I had no knowledge. I mean, they're just sex traffickers anyway, but like, that's just a very specific thing to kind of solidify a part of this definition. And that's where I'm leaving off for now.